And this is a mechanism called eat me and don't eat me signal. Yeah? Eat me means prune me away. Don't eat me is don't prune me away. And this is all the neurons and the dendrites. So what we actually want to tell you is synapse pruning. Now I want to look at, this is a baby's brain, 36, or this is the fetus brain, 36-week gestation. This is one neuron, and you can see these are neighbors. But they do not talk to each other yet. But when you're still a newborn, then they start to branch off, yeah, with all the dendrites. And in 3 months until 2 years old, what you can see, this is where a neuron starts to have synapse formation. It branches out and then try to have connection with all the neighbors, just like you. When you first enter the class, yeah, you see many neurons, and you start to branch out, you start to talk to many people. But then, between 2 years to 4 years old, that is the mechanism, you see a drastic reduction in synapses. This is called pruning. Something is pruned away the synapses. Why? Because when you're in this class, first of all, you try to reach out to everyone. But some are weak connections. Some are stronger connections. And you only keep the strong one, right? Until now, you know each other more than 1 year. And you cannot be buddy for everyone. Only certain people, yeah? Your best buddy, your BFF, that you keep. And those BFF is the one that stay. Those are not, So you will prune away. And who does the job? Microglia. Right? Still remember just now, the important slide that I told you? Microglia not just for phagocytosis, but it does pruning. And this pruning is very important because your brain should only function with the strong connection, not with the weak connection. So this is how, after that, these years, then this stronger connection will keep on improving its synapses. And this is how it can stay until today. And in baby's brain, the neuron make more connections than adult. Yeah, this is exactly why, because of after synapse pruning. And what is the big deal? It's a big deal. Yeah, thank goodness to all the research. We found that children with autism is because their brain are oversupply of synapses. This is a very nice picture. Now I'm showing you is a developing baby's brain. In adult, it should be less, but actually it functions better. Why? Because you need only to keep the strong connection. But if you have less than that, then this can cause schizophrenia. But if you have more than that, then it can cause autism and epilepsy. This is a very nice graph. This is the axis here, y-axis is showing the dendritic spine, how many spines, and this is when from birth until adult. Look at the black line here. Black line is showing is normal. When you are young, at birth, and then when you are 2 to 4 years old, you have a lot of synapses, but then it has to be pruned. But then throughout the years, it will be getting lesser and lesser. You start to maintain the spine. Like you now, you are maintaining the spine. But later on, when you're getting aging, yeah, it will decline. You start to forget something. It's very normal. But for the Alzheimer's disease, the blue line, there is a drastic drop of the synapses. In the autism, this is autism spectrum disorder. What you can see is, from here, the spine formation is more than average. Then even after pruning, it doesn't really go down to its average number. So the brain is very complicated, so they cannot differentiate what is important, what is weak, what is strong. Just like when you are entering into a cafe. Cafe is so noisy, you try to talk to the person right opposite you. You are able to suppress those surrounding sound and you only can listen to that person. Yeah? So for the girls, you'll find that the boys, maybe they have peace sometimes. When they're listening to you, but they're also distracted. Yeah, then you say that, I think that you're not listening to me at all. You know? Yeah? Maybe your spine doesn't turn away properly. Yeah? So forgive the boys. Yeah? So maybe because they cannot choose. Yeah? Which one is the weakest
kita ada banyak tanggungjawab kita fikir.
The girl right opposite them is the most important that you have to stay focused. Yeah? But it's just a joke. Yeah? So now this is a very important. Then I have a lot of parents ask me when we do this brain awareness campaign. They ask me, then who decide? A baby's brain is only 2 to 4 years old. How can you decide? Can you call microglia do the job? It's a baby. You as the future parents, or you have to share this knowledge here. How? It's all about the exposure and experience. So either you want to expose your kid to this or this. What's the biggest difference compared to this one? Yeah.
Auto.
Manipulation, right? Touching. So when you have to let your kid, young kid, to expose as much motor movement or sensory touching. It has to be very enriched. That's why educational toys come in different format, texture, color, right? For them to stimulate the receptor so that they talk to different parts of the brain. The more that you encourage this stimulation, the more the neurons start to touch to each other, and they will know which one will be the strong connection, which one will be the weak connection. When time comes, the weaker one will be pruned. But if you give them, yeah, the same thing can be here, yeah, still colorful, lots of losing, but it's still the same touch sensation, betul tak? But you overfeed it with its visual. Yeah, so this is not something that you want. So if you have a chance to raise your kid, make sure that you help them to do a good synaptic pruning. A good synaptic pruning will determine how well the brain function later. Stay focused, attention. Yeah, this is why early exposure, early experience will lay out a good foundation for the good function during the adulthood. Is really crucial. This is part of the brain awareness knowledge that you have to know. Yeah. Now we go to the left-right battle. Here you have the left brain, right brain. But the left brain and right brain, they synchronize with each other. Melalui corpus callosum. This is the right hemisphere, left hemisphere. You can see that's connected by the corpus callosum. Yeah? And then this corpus callosum, I think I forgot who is the lecturer who give one whole lecture about all this connection. Very important. You have the connection to connect from frontal loop to frontal loop, yeah, from different loop to another loop as well. So corpus callosum is so important. It was once, yeah, when someone suffered epilepsy, then actually the epileptic activity will spread from one brain to another brain, yeah, from one hemisphere to another hemisphere. Back in 1940-50, what they do is, to avoid this spreading, they actually cut the corpus callosum. Then only they realize that you're thinking that you're solving a problem, but you cause another problem. What's the problem? The person suffers with split personality. Why? Because you do have different personality here. In front of me now, this is your personality. In front of your friend, you will have different personality. Right? But still, you have different version of you. You have one core personality that is not changing. Yeah, but you may change from time to time, but you still know who is the main. But once you do not have the corpus callosum to synchronize, then that becomes very confused. All the personality becomes very confused. Then you start to have split personality. And now we find that you do not need to cut the corpus callosum. Yeah, there's a lot more way. You can do the deep brain stimulation to stop that. Yeah, we do not need to go to that extreme. Yeah. To interfere. This is how powerful when we have a brain science advancement. Last time they cut the corpus callosum, but now no, yeah, not anymore. And of course, you look at the corpus callosum of the normal child, it is very well connected from frontal lobe to occipital lobe. But look at here, this is a lacking of corpus callosum. That is why for the kid with cerebral palsy, sometimes they can only move part of the hand, part of the leg. Why? Because it's lacking of corpus callosum and they cannot do bimanual hand use. Do you think that's the end of it? Yeah? Do you think that they have a chance to improve? That's a chance to improve. Very good. That's why they need to go for special education. Why? Because the brain is plastic. Why I say brain is plastic? This is called neuroplasticity. The brain is plastic means whenever there is the urge, now although this is so much corpus callosum left behind, destination, yeah, this is the highway A, gone. If you give enough stimulation, there's a desire. The brain will remap by itself. The brain will look for highway B to reach to the area, to reach to the destination. This will be the same as when someone used to hold the pen by fingers. What if they're due to occupational health? The limb is amputated, so you cannot use the finger anymore. You have to use the toe. Have you seen or hear about story that people are using toes to hold paintbrush?
Yeah.
You cannot do it now because it's not yet. You haven't have the desire to train your toes to do such. But with that desire, if you want to survive, you really can train. The brain will remap. The sciatic nerve supposed to train or to control all the function of the lower limb can remap, and that actually can do the function as well as the fingers. This is what we call neuroplasticity. That means your brain is forever changing. So I would say that whenever anyone with any brain diseases, rehabilitation is very important during recovery. But this is the saddest part, where we always put the least attention when it comes to rehab. Family members always say, no time. The patient will say that, I don't see improvement. It takes time. It's the brain. It takes time. Yeah? Rehabilitation is not a small knowledge. It's a very important practice after brain injury, especially. Yeah? Someone can walk again. Someone can talk again. Yeah? It's really true. So it can reconstruct. So now I'm showing you the right brain, left brain function. Look at the right brain. Very colorful, betul tak? Oh, it's full with art, music. So I always say that the right side is for 4 special functions. You have iPad, iPod, whatever, but I tell you you have iMac. What is iMac? I for imagination, M for music, A for art, C for creativity. Can you remember this 4? What are the 4 functions for the right side? iMac, imagination, music, art, creativity, right? So important. Now you store all this into your hippocampus. That is your short-term memory hub. Then, look at here. What is this? Bridge, betul tak jambatan? Corpus callosum. You will walk from here to here, exactly your arrangement now. Everyone working in the cubicle. Yeah? Great. So boring. But it's very important. Because it's the left side. Left is for triple L, yeah? L, L, L. L, left side is for language. Where you can master multiple languages, it is on left side. So remember just now when I first showed you the jumbo word, I told you that that is on the left side. Something that you learn, the visual that you learn, the words that you learn on the left side. Language that you learn on the left side. Then, logical reasoning. What I'm telling you, you understand logical reasoning. Yeah, you ask me question, logical reasoning. The third one is linear. Linear means sequence. You know, so you have to do darab, pembahagian, baru, campur dan tolak. Right? This is sequence. Same as the sequence for you to do something. A scientist will know you have to do step 1, then 2, then only 3, then only 4. Same as the medical doctor, you have to know that you cannot straight away go to step 4, then come back to step 1, 2. Yeah, because there's a sequence. Same as my makeup today. I have to know that I do the foundation first. Betul tak? You won't apply everything, then start to do the foundation. There is something wrong with the left brain. Yeah? So now, this is the left side function. And I tell you, this is called lateralization. Your brain is, come to this function, they are not equal. Come to this function, they are not equal. But motor, movement, sensory are pretty much the same. But not these few functions, yeah? They are more towards left, these are more towards right side. So now, let's try, yeah? Let's try again, yeah? Can you read this word as fast as possible for me? Yellow, blue, orange, green. Okay, stop. Now, I want you to read the color, yeah, of the word, but not the word itself, yeah? Green. Because then your signal tadi berlangsung callosum. Why? Now I change the rules. Just now, for you to read the word, your left brain is doing the job. Yellow, blue, orange, how easy. Your left brain say, I suggest what I need. But now I change the rules. I ask your right brain to interpret the color first. Your right brain will interpret the color blue. Then it will send the signal through the corpus callosum to the left. Say green. Then only the left brain will say that, okay, I say green, I don't say it's yellow. That's why you find that at certain points sometimes you're confused. But the more that you do, the better it is. Because this is how your brain is plastic. Your brain is getting more training. And next time when you do again, you get better and better and better. Same as how when you're driving now. When you used to drive, very nervous. You have to remember every step. Do this and don't do that, this and that. But now, you can just drive, very relaxed, enjoying your mocha, and then talking to someone, or even arguing with someone that you still can drive, right? So this is how amazing it is. So test yourself. According to the brain lateralization, the left hemisphere is specialized for eyes. Very good. So now I'm coming to the real deal. You are the multitasker, So you're a multitasker. An Uber driver, not just able to operate a vehicle, but also looking into the screen for the navigation. Also can communicate to understand the passenger, and also can taste the coffee in his hand. So many senses all come together. All this is because you have a good brain function. Now you're seeing the brain from lateral side, frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. Just 4. How is difficult is that? But why everyone says it's very hard? Just CNS. Only 4 lobes. Okay. When you look at the brain, this is no color. That's where it's difficult. Just have 4 colors, of course. So now to understand the brain, this brain you must remember forever. Will be come out in all kinds of exams. The brain, lateral view. You will see these are the elevation. This is the deepened grooves. The grooves are the sulcus. This is gyrus. This is the sulcus. In between the 2 gyri, this is the sulcus. Now I want you to look at this very important sulcus. This is called central sulcus. Central sulcus is very unique. It runs, central sulcus of Rolando, it runs obliquely across on the lateral surface. And then, this is your lateral sulcus, but it never touched the lateral sulcus. This week during practical, hold any brain, either it's the actual human brain that you observe, you do not need to go to the NEH because only 2 hours, we will all spend our time in museum. So pick up any brain and look for central sulcus. Central sulcus will very obviously that it run parallel on the lateral side. Two gyri will be following, Serratus Cellarii, and then but it never touched the lateral sulcus. This is separated by an arch gyrus. This is called central sulcus. And from the lateral side, this is called lateral sulcus. This lateral sulcus has 3. One is this limb, one is horizontal, one is ascending. Look at here, lateral sulcus has 3, posterior, anterior horizontal, and anterior ascending. These 3. 1, 2, and 3. If you do not understand here, I have this cartoon for you here. Lateral sulcus, anterior ascending, and anterior horizontal. Then you ask, Dr. why do you have to emphasize this rami? Very important. Very important. Because now I'm laying down just the neuroanatomical sahaja, anatomy sahaja. Later on, I will relate to function. Your speech area, when I am talking now, the area around here will be the one responsible. The area around your anterior horizon, anterior ascending is the one we call broadcast speech area. Is the area that responsible for my speech. And this is the area always is affected by someone having stroke because of the medial cerebral artery that supplies it. So this is all come together. So that's why now, remember, in the exam, we could easily ask you to label the sulcus. Remember the central sulcus, remember the lateral sulcus. Again, central sulcus never touch the lateral sulcus, separated by an arch gyrus, lateral sulcus. And if I extend this imaginary line to behind, now I can see there's one little sulcus here. This sulcus is called parieto-occipital, PO sulcus. Above here is parietal lobe, below here is occipital lobe. That's why PO sulcus. Then you say that, doctor, the PO sulcus is so short. No, PO sulcus is more obvious in medial side. That's why now you can only see a little bit, but it is very, very distinctive in medial side. We're going to look at that later. Now, this is another little sulcus here, is very important. I call it the calcarine sulcus. Calcarine sulcus. So, I want you to remember 4 cell side. Central, lateral, PO, calcarine. In exam, if you write me PO, you get 0 lah. You give me PO, you get the O. You better write parieto-occipital, yeah? You don't write me PO, yeah? Okay? So, parieto-occipital sulcus. Now, we are going into, because of these 4 here, now you can divide the brain into 4 lobes. Frontal lobe or in front of central sulcus. Behind the central sulcus and in between the PO is parietal lobe. Below the lateral sulcus is temporal lobe. And behind it is occipital lobe. If you use the speculum to retract the lateral sulcus, you will see one hidden area. This is called insula. Insula is called hidden island. This hidden island is very important here. For your information, this hidden island has been found very important for self-awareness, and it is very important in neuropsychiatric disorder. Yeah, you will learn more and more later on in clinical years, insula. Now, from lateral, I'm going to medial. Saya masuk ke medial side. When you go to medial side, this is your PO sulcus, parieto-occipital. You can see it's so distinctive. Yeah? And this will separate in the loop into precuneus. Ini salah ya. Precuneus and cuneus. And now, just now when you see the calcarine sulcus, calcarine sulcus also more visible on medial side, tapi di luar, it is just a small area. Calcarine sulcus is very important for visual. We are going to see that later. Now, this is your corpus callosum that you learned just now. And above the corpus callosum, this is called gyrus cingulum or cingulus gyrus. This is responsible for your survival, yeah? For your emotion. Cingular gyrus. Okay, now you have 6 lobes altogether, yeah? Frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital, insula, and limbic lobe. Limbic lobe is more in the medial side. Limbic lobe termasuk cingulate gyrus, your hippocampus for your short-term memory, amygdala, and temporal. Hari anda belajar IMAC, betul tak? All your IMAC, what you learn today, are stored here in the hippocampus, inside your temporal lobe. And tonight, when you are sleeping, the hippocampus will start to filter the non-important information. Non-important information during sleep, it will filter, and then the important one will retain to become long-term memory. So, if at night, if you have a very disturbed sleep cycle, you always start from shallow sleep, yeah? It's light sleep, deep sleep, then you have REM, rapid eye movement. Then you start to wake up again. At one night, you can have 4 to 5 cycles. If you always wake up, yeah, you do not really fall asleep really well, so you'll find that your memory will be compromised as well. Why? Because that's where the time hippocampus will start to store your short-term memory to become long-term memory. Yeah? And then you'll find that you have a lot of crazy dreams. Yeah? You can fly, you can float, yeah? And you have a lot of power. That's where, yeah, all the chemicals are happening, you know, in the brain. Yeah? So now we are going to see these very important. I'm going to play this slide here, yeah? Play this video now. The brain, yeah, 4 lobes. Must be able to label 4 lobes. And then I want you to remember, in between here, central sulcus. in front of the central sulcus, this is called the precentral gyrus. Kenapa? Kerana this is a gyrus in front of the central, so that's why called precentral gyrus. You have to name this gyrus. You must remember this gyrus. We'll ask again and again and again and again in exam. Guess what is the name of this gyrus behind? Ayo, pandanya, postcentral gyrus. Postcentral gyrus, yeah, very good. This is a postcentral gyrus. Okay. Selepas pre and post. Still remember, just now ini adalah central sulcus kan? Central sulcus. Kalau ini adalah gyrus, this is another sulcus. Then this sulcus is called precentral sulcus. This is a postcentral sulcus. So you have three sulci, yeah? Pre, central, and post. Gyrus. This will be asked again and again. Then you ask me, Dr. perlu remember? Yes. Because now it's just anatomy sahaja, yeah? Later on I put in function. These have different function. These have different function. We are going to look at that later. Now look at the green area is the frontal lobe, yeah? The green area is frontal lobe. Where? Here. When you now put the hand on top of the forehead, right behind the forehead is exactly your frontal lobe. And this frontal lobe has three gyri. 1, 2, 3. How easy? Superior frontal gyrus, middle frontal gyrus, and inferior frontal gyrus. Do you still remember what are these two rami? Very good. What is anterior horizontal? This is anterior ascending. Around here is called the Broca's speech area. We are going to see that later. Now in the frontal lobe, you have three gyri, superior, middle, and inferior. Sama dengan blue area. The blue area is temporal. Where is temporal? Temporal is right above the ear. Right above the ear, this lobe also divided into three gyri. Superior, middle, and inferior. Very easy. Now, going to the posterior. Posterior is occipital. Occipital is different, yeah? Occipital, you have superior, inferior, and lateral gyri. And then now we are going to see the parietal. Parietal has superior and inferior parietal lobule. Okay. Quickly come back here. Okay. Itu ialah lateral. And guess why? Why I keep showing you this? Labeling. Now you use your complete anatomy apps, open it, and try to label it yourself. You must master this. Make use of your complete anatomy. Click on every loop, and this will pop up the box to show you the function of each. Now, I'm going to medial side. Equally important, yeah? Anatomists love to give you a diagram and ask you to label. Now, I'm going to medial side. Medial side. Sebelum itu, ya, I want to catch your attention for this one. This is your ramus, anterior horizontal, anterior ascending. This is called pars orbitalis. This is pars triangularis and triangle. And this is the pars orbicularis, upper. Why upper? Yeah? Upper means near to the lips. Why lips? Because just now at the lateral sulcus, remember the lateral sulcus? I say you can retract it, open like an upper lip, lower lip, and to review what is the loop inside. Insula, right? So, the loop that is closest to the lateral sulcus is called pars orbicularis. This is pars triangularis. Then you ask me again, perlu tak tanya? Yeah. Remember, yes. Because anatomically, first I will ask you, name this loop. Then you say pars triangularis. Then itu ialah anatomy. Then I ask you, what is the function of it? Broca's speech area. That's exactly where your Broca's speech area is located. When I'm talking to you now, my area here is very active. The neurons here are very active. They are responsible for my speech now. So this is why, this is how we ask. First ask you to identify the gyrus. Name the gyrus. Secondly, state the function of this area. So this is the same pattern here that we'll do. And now let's go to media side. Kalau anda pergi media side, this is where you will see the corpus callosum. This is corpus callosum. This is your cingulate gyrus. Cingulate gyrus, and then cingulate gyrus. Then you have this. Is it running? I have to stop this from running first. Now, because of your PO sulcus, you separate this into precuneus and cuneus. Cuneus is the loop that's responsible for vision. Precuneus is the loop responsible for sensory. But now I want to highlight the paracentral lobule. Paracentral lobule. What do you mean by paracentral lobule? Paracentral lobule is at the media side is really a square. Every brain that you see in the human brain, you must see this paracentral lobule. This paracentral lobule is responsible for your pelvis, perineum, and lower limb. All your senses now, when you can feel your pelvis, now, because senses is feeling here. Paracentral lobule is for pelvis, perineum, and lower limb. How about on the outside? Outside is everywhere, yeah? Okay, from your face, trunk, and upper limb. So we will ask you to name the lobule. So please remember how to name the lobule. So that's it. So now let's have a look here. What is this about? So easy. So now, this is actually, sometimes you can test your friend by remember what are the names, the sulcus, gyrus, what are the pars, and the gyrus. Yeah? But most important is 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. These 4 here. Remember the sulcus. Or these both. Okay, now I'm going to the fun part of it. So today, how many important slides? I think it's only second, right? The first one is I say one happy family of neurons and the glia. Second one is just now, this one. This one or this one, okay? Second. Third is coming. This is the most important one here. This is where we talk about function. Look at here now, you see the function. This is the area where we say is the sulcus is precentral gyrus. The precentral gyrus is responsible for primary motor area. And the postcentral gyrus is for primary somatosensory area. Now, I put function. Just now doesn't mean anything. When you see the anatomical loop, doesn't mean its function. Now, you can see that. Do you see the Broca's fish area here?
Yeah.
Do you see this is a pars triangularis?
Yeah.
This is a pars orbicularis. And this area is called Broca's fish area. So now we're going to see one by one. And this is one very nice book. We have this book in our library called Brodmann's Brain Mapping. What do you mean by brain mapping? You see the number? This number is important, yeah? You have to remember this number, but I'll tell you what kind of number is really important. Because some neurologists, they don't like to name it, but they say the number of the loops. So before we send you to clinical years, you better remember the area, yeah? So now, I'm going to start from the frontal loop first. From here onwards, this is frontal loop. In front of the frontal loop, these are all the Brodmann's area that we must remember. What do you mean by Brodmann's? Brodmann's actually is now I'm going to share with you a story, yeah? A story, a clip. Korbinian Brodmann. You know, when we can map the world, he mapped the brain. He is actually like a sailor who actually mapped the human brain. What do you mean by mapping the human brain? He actually found that human different part of the brain has different function. So actually he started to do a study on the primate, on the chimpanzee. So what he does on gorilla, and he actually start to stimulate different part of the brain and start to observe, is there any part of the body is responding to it. Then he start to identify certain area that he start to discover, he named as number 1, number 2, until 44, 45 is for broadcast speech area. Then he start to map it, and the original book also available in our library, you know. So I seen it, but it's no fun to read because it's too complicated. Yeah, it is a record for his all the brain mapping. But it is really fun that he start to map the human brain one by one. He first mapped the chimpanzee brain, then he mapped the human brain. And he found that, certain area after that I name it is related to its function. That is why, to honor him, we call Rodman's area 4, from now onwards, if you see the number, this is actually functionally his primary motor area. This is important now, exam, How we ask a question in exam? First, I will show you your brain, nothing there, just the human brain. Then I ask you first, name the gyrus. Name this gyrus. What is the name of this gyrus? Precentral gyrus. Very good. You already scored 1 mark. Secondly, I ask you, state the function of this gyrus. This is a primary motor area. Then I ask you, list or state the number of Rodman's area representing this area. Rodman's area 4. Later on, when another lecturer comes in to tell you which area is supplied by which artery, then we'll ask you, state the artery that supplies this area. Then you say middle cerebral artery, which is true. This is supplied by middle cerebral artery. This is how you score 1 by 1. Then we start to bring in functional correlation, clinical correlation. So this is how, Again, 1 anatomical, 2nd functional, 3 Rodman's area. So now we are going to look into the Rodman's area number 4. Rodman's area number 4 is called primary motor. That means everything that you want to do movement. Blinking the eye, talking, even though you move your eyes, everything is about voluntary movement. This is actually controlled by the little man. This is you, if you think that he's ugly, but he's you. Very handsome. Do you see some areas are larger than usual? Which area are larger than usual? Head. Eyes. Not really nose, it's the face. The face is so big that it covers the whole trunk. Betul tak? Lips, tongue. It's so big, but compared to yourself, this area is so small. But what happened here is, this is called motor homunculus. That means this is a little man living in your brain. The larger the area is, that means your brain dedicated larger area to control this area. Your brain dedicated larger area to control the hand. That's why your hand can have better skill, higher skill. Your brain dedicated larger area for the face so that you can do all kinds of facial expression. Same as the lips, the tongue. That is why in your body, this area of the brain is larger than usual because it is proportional to the skill. Same as your eye. Your eye has been moving left, right, unless now you are very tired, you already close your eyes both, So now this is what happens when you see the brain. Your whole body, when you see the brain, this is a lateral side, this is a medial side. Lateral, medial. You are represented upside down. This is a larger area of the brain to control your face and your lips, your tongue, your mastication, your vocalization. Then larger brain area to control the thumb. But smaller area to control forearm and arm, smaller area to control trunk. That's why your arm and forearm cannot do much of the skill compared to your hand, compared to your fingers. Still remember just now I talked about pelvis, perineum, neck and foot? Which lobule is that? Still remember just now I mentioned one lobule, it will affect the lower lip. It will affect the pelvis and perineum. It wouldn't affect the hand. Yeah, remember that. So this is what we call the motor homunculus. Yeah, motor homunculus. Do you need a break? Pretty tired already? Can we finish all the frontal loop first? Yes, okay lah, you have to learn, okay. Still remember just now we say this is a primary motor area? In front of the primary motor area is the premotor area number 6. What do you mean by premotor area? Premotor area is this area. Okay, everyone, when you try to operate a car, okay, this is a motor when you try to operate a car. But why do you remember the skill to operate a car? It's because you have the premotor area. Whenever from now on, if you see the word there, primary means it's the main area to do the job. If you see the word secondary or association, it means it's for the memory. Premotor area is the memory area. Look at that. This is the area that contains all your learned skill. For example, a master chef can slice the carrot without even looking into that carrot. He can slice it. Why? Because all this already in his memory of the premotor area. He already can estimate the gap, the distance to move the knife. Same as the auntie makcik here, they can weave the ketupat. While they're talking, they can just do this. Why? Because all these are premotor area already programmed in. Same as when you're playing piano. So premotor area is Brodmann's area number 6, responsible for any memory related to your motor function. But if someone having lack of blood supply to premotor area, then you will become apraxia. You lack of the skill movement practice, apraxia or agraphia. You cannot write properly because writing is also a memory. When you can write now, it's so easy. But back in 4 years old, when you start to learn to write an A, is such a challenge. But now you can just write ABCD so easily because you have a good pre-motor area storing all this memory. Yeah? Now we go to Brodmann's area 45, 44, 45. Before that, okay, frontal eye field. Yeah, frontal eye field is area number 8. Where is number 8? This is number 8. Yeah, where is number 8? It's not here. Here. This is premotor area. This is Brodmann's area 8. Is frontal eye field. Where is frontal eye field? Now, are you scanning line by line? When you're scanning line by line, this is called frontal eye field saccadic eye movement. You're moving your eye horizontal gaze, and then you start to fix your eye to certain area of interest. This is very important when someone comes to you to neurological examination. You know when you will be doing this saccadic eye movement? When there's announcement of the result. Who's scoring A, B, and C? You start to scan, where's my metric number? That's where your saccadic eye movement comes in. That's your frontal eye field. Until you don't care about who other metric number, you just care about yours. That will be the one that interests you, right? That's why you decide when to stop the scanning. Nobody do it, but you do it. And that is called the saccadic eye movement. Yeah? And you always do that when you try to screen something. Yeah? Alright? Especially when the announcement of the exam result. So now I go to, after 4, 6, and 8, I go to area number, the largest. Where's the largest? 9, 10, 11, and 12. Boleh tolong letak 12. I tetelan 12. 9, 10, 11, and 12. 9, 10, 11, and 12 is hidden. 9, 10, 11, and 12 is hidden. This is called prefrontal area. What is prefrontal area? This whole area is called prefrontal cortex. You always have a little voice. Tadi Dr. Pixie said, can I have more time? One is saying yes, one is saying no. Yes, no, yes, no, yeah? The angels and the demon. You always have this little voice. are your Brockman's area 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this is the prefrontal cortex determine who you are. You are a unique person because of 9, 10, 11, and 12. This will determine you. What is your personality? Do you have foresightedness? Can you predict the future? And can you weigh the consequence? What do you mean by weigh the consequence? Yeah, predict the future. Now you can predict your future. You are now in year 2, medical student year. You start to predict your future, right? And you also are able to inhibit socially inappropriate behavior. What do you mean by that? When I'm talking, you would just shout. You know that you cannot do that. Because even though you try to, you want him to really shout. But your prefrontal cortex is inhibiting it because it's social manner. And a trained adult will not just pee at public. But I want to tell you, very important here, many elderly, sometimes all of a sudden the family members come to us saying that, I think that he is getting aged and is changing his personality. He starts to talk loudly, not reasonable. He maybe just pee at the public. Mind you, this is not because of change of personality. It's because it could be a minor stroke affecting the prefrontal cortex. Actually, my late aunt, she actually suffered multiple minor strokes throughout her life. But we didn't realize until she did the very last neuroimaging because of another brain injury. Then only we realized that it's a multiple minor stroke and all concentrate at her frontal area. That actually explains why before she passed away, the past few months, she has been really unreasonable. Nothing can please her. She's just changing into another person. So this is what I say, brain awareness. Yeah, but my cousin actually take it as if she's just grumpy because she's getting aging. No, yeah. So this is important for you to understand. Yeah, about could be a minor stroke affecting it. And this can cause bipolar disorder or schizophrenia. So now, when you have a good, strong prefrontal cortex top-down control, you'll be very concentrate. You can have good decision making, good judgment. So I'm not sure, are you now here or here? If you're getting fatigue, this is when you have a weak prefrontal cortex top-down control. You know what happened? You know when you start to have really weak PFC, besides now entering the second hour of CNS, when you are at night, at midnight, when you're about to sleep, you have a very weak prefrontal cortex. You make wrong decisions most of the time. Why? Because that's where Shopee throw out all the vouchers. And you start to make all the decisions, buy. The next day, when you come back to here, why am I buying all this? They study before. They study this. They actually attended my lecture. I say those Shopee leadership. They know that when you are here, that's why they release the voucher not in the morning, not in the afternoon. Afternoon, you have too strong, your prefrontal cortex functioning too well. Most likely you won't say buy. But at night, you will say buy. Yeah? So that's where it is. Okay, now I quickly go to the last part. This frontal loop here, many Brockman's area, our favorite to ask question. Again, I ask you about the gyrus, I ask you about the Brockman's area number, and I ask you about the functioning. So answer is here, and the neuron and the follicle. Now I stop right after the Brockman's area, Broca speech area. Broca speech area 44 and 45. 44 and 45. 45 is triangularis, 44 is orbicularis. What does it do? It controls your lips, your tongue, your vocal cord. Then you say that, doctor, just now when you show me, primary motor area also doing the job. What is the function of the Broca? Broca is not executing. Broca is not moving your lips. Yeah? To move your lips is primary motor. But to plan how to move your lips is your Broca. For example, you want to say automatically. retrieve your lips, your tongues, and vocal cord. This is all organized by Broca. Broca is the one that organizing your vocal motor apparatus. That means your vocal cord, your lips, your tongue. And then you have two types. One is written, one is verbal. And remember, your Broca is only on the left side, dominant. Your Broca area is only on left side, not on the right side. And if you have a lesion in the Broca speech area, the patient will be diagnosed as expressive aphasia. You cannot express yourself, so this is called expressive aphasia. This is how I ask another question. Can you see how we design it? First, I ask you, what is the anatomical lobe? What is the anatomical lobe? You name it. Then I ask you, what is the function, Broca area? What is the Brodmann's area, 44, 45? What if this area is having lesion? What is a clinical correlation? The patient will have expressive aphasia. This is your lesion. When there's a lesion, this will cause expressive aphasia. Easily, you can nail 4 to 5 marks. See that? Yeah? So now, you have two types of speech. Now I'm talking vocal speech. But when you are looking into your messages, written speech. That is a written speech that you're doing. Also done by Broca. When someone having Broca problem, you are unable to read it, even silently. So now, who named? Why do we name it Broca? Because this is named after Paul Broca, a surgeon. It is in a true story. One day, Paul Broca asked the patient, what's your name? Dun Dun. Where do you live? Dun Dun. Do you understand me?
Tan.
Dun Dun. This is Mr. Tan. This is real story. He can only utter one word Tan. But after that, because he suffered a really massive injury to the brain, and Paul Broca actually dissected his brain after he passed away. And he started to see there's a massive hemorrhagic stroke at the left side of this patient. That's where he started to do a lot more clinical studies, and they start to name this area that is matching to area 44 and 45. Since then, we add on, besides Brodmann's area 44, 45, we call this Broca speech area to honor Paul Broca, who actually identified this is the area to organize your vocal cord. So now, this is on the, I said Broca is on the left. Then what happened on the right side? You ingat dia ada satu lubang sana. No, there's still some gyri there. But what is this function? Now let me ask you. Welcome class to MDR 3012. This is a really exciting course about central nervous system. So exciting, So you can follow me throughout the course of. Welcome to the class 3012. This is an exciting course. You see the difference now? What's the difference? Expression, intonation, betul tak? Who has that? Actor and actress. Actor and actress, So guys, maybe if you have a good developed side of the right side corresponding to Broca, you will say, marry me, my beauty. Marry me, my beauty. You just try it, without very good. So the right side is responsible for something related to speech, but it's about intonation, your emotion into the speech. You know who has that very good? Politician. Politician must have a really good develop of the right side, corresponding area. But on the right side, you don't call it Broca. Broca only on the left side, remember that. Okay, so now let's take a rest. I will stay here. Okay, we probably will start the class a bit early, before 11. Because it's just too much to cover. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Saya belum
Okay,
saja.
take a rest. Maybe we'll meet 10